Thank you for having me. When I first got here and Jim stood up, I thought I was at an AA meeting. Well, wouldn't you? I'm Jim Ives, and I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan. Hey, Jim! I'm Sue Goldson, and I'm a Michigan State fan. Hey, Sue! So you can imagine my trepidation when it came to speaking, but I realized that you're the Rotarians, and the one thing I wanted to talk to about Robbie, and this goes to the point of what we're talking about here, and it's called teamwork and service. That was what we were billed as speakers, and I think what Robbie just illustrated was the fact that she had a career in broadcasting, and yet through broadcasting has found a second career in service. And that's what you guys do. That's what the Rotary Club does. And as you hear Robbie talk about that, I think you can hear her passion. And that service in many ways has outdrawn her career as a broadcaster. And for you, I think that's something you need to take to heart a little bit, because what you do and what you are trained to do, what your organization does, and that is be of service. And I can't thank you enough for the service that you do. More people like you should be out there, and we would have these free little libraries in neighborhoods all over that is basically helping other people. But the thing that I get to talk about is teamwork, and it goes back to my experience as a football player at the University of Michigan. Now, go Blue. I'm Jim, and I'm a Michigan fan. Hey, Jim! There you go. But I give this speech a lot, but it's true, and I don't want to be trite. I don't want people to say, you know, there are people out there that says you play sports and football builds character, all that other stuff. You say those things. You know what? The hell with them. I don't care if they want to say no. That doesn't happen. It's a terrible sport, and you get knocked in the head, and you get concussions, and when you're 65, you can't eat, and you drool. I'm 65, I just ate, I didn't drool. Now, I noticed that Jim Ives, the Iowa Hawkeye fan, didn't eat in public. So maybe there's some drooling, and Sue was right across and I did not see anything come out of the corner there. But the truth is, as a group, when you are put in a position as a member of a team, you must operate as a team or you will not be successful. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes here. That's a fact. And I can point out these examples, and one of them is Brady Hoke. Brady Hoke's a fine man and a great coach. I believe Brady Hoke would have been successful at Michigan. But one, the student body was not for him. The administration fell away from him. The former players started to distance themselves from him. And if you're running an organization, if you are involved in anything and you do not have everybody in that organization pulling the rope in the same direction, you will not, I repeat, you will not succeed. It's about teamwork. It's about everybody getting on that rope and pulling in the same direction. Go back to that old song about the ant and the rubber tree plant that Frank Sinatra sang. And the ant ultimately takes down the rubber tree plant because he does it as a group. Schembechler was one of the great ones that I played for. Having him as a friend, having him as a mentor, having him as a coach affected my life more than I can tell you. And he was a football coach, but he was an educator too. There isn't a day that goes by in my career today that something I learned when I played football at the University of Michigan, I don't put to use, and I thank Bo Schembechler for that. One of the things is preparation. When I broadcast the football game, I know I must be prepared. Because when I played football at Michigan, I walked on the field knowing we were going to win that football game because I was better prepared than the other guy. I just knew it. Nobody could have worked harder. Nobody could have prepared better because Schembechler made me. And when we walked on that field, I knew I was the better prepared player and that we would win the game. And we, as a team, all of us prepared and won the game. And in 3 years of varsity competition at the University of Michigan, I lost 5 games and only 1 at Michigan Stadium. But one of the things he said was, in the great the team speech, you could see it on YouTube. He said, we're not going to complain about each other. We're not going to criticize each other. We're going to support each other. And there were a lot of people at the University of Michigan this past fall when Brady Hoke was under fire that was putting that speech out there as part of, quote unquote, the Michigan man. Well, you know what? They put the team part out there, but what they didn't put out there was, we're not going to criticize each other, we're going to support each other. That's part of the speech that people choose not to quote. Because if it doesn't suit their purpose, they don't. But during tough times, during difficult times, you must support those people, or you never will be successful. That's what being a team is all about. That's what supporting a team is all about. Lloyd Carr, when he won the national championship with Michigan in 1997, told Charles Woodson something, and Charles was going to win the Heisman that year. But he told Charles at the beginning of the year, he said, Charles, what I need you to do is I need you to be one of the guys. I need you to play your best football, but I don't want you to think about you. I want you to think about us. You will receive great honors and great acclaim if you play for the team. If you make this team better, Charles, all of the individual honors will come to you. But don't play for you. Play for Michigan. And Charles bought it. He said, that's absolutely what I'll do. And at the end of some of the games when Charles had made great plays, he would not go into the post-game interview. He would send someone else. He would say, take Andre Fisher. He played the other corner, and he did a great job. Or take Sam Sword. He was a great one. And Charles deflected some of the attention he was going to get having a Heisman Trophy year. And what it did was it made everybody else on the team feel that much more important because their star was deferring to them. And the team got stronger, and they went through the season unbeatable. These are lessons I learned and have watched from athletics and collegiate football as I was growing up. That's why I think teamwork is so very important in what you do. Nobody can do anything alone. I can't be where I am here today without my football, without my University of Michigan contacts, without Robbie. I'm not here because we're a team. We do things together. It makes us stronger. And that goes for what you do. If you have a project, you need to all be pulling in the same direction. And whatever service it is, make sure you're all on the same page. Because teamwork and service makes service ultimately win. Because your teamwork is what ultimately makes you better. As an individual, but if collectively you're successful, as an individual, you'll reap the rewards. I'm telling you, it's a fact. I see it happen every year in every team sport. And I wish you all the opportunity to enjoy and experience that kind of success as a team. When you get around each other and you're able to put your arms around someone's shoulder, pat them on the back, and say, we did it. There's nothing better than that. Because saying I did it is a little bit hollow. But when we did it, it's bigger and it's better. Now, Robbie said that I was going to tell you some stories about the draft. I should, but I'm going to tell some stories on her too. Okay, first of all. Now, the thing that I just did was your keynote speech, and I believe that to my soul because I've seen it happen, and I hope you take that home and run with it and play with it and put it in your memory banks and file it away because it's an important thing that I see happen on an everyday basis. But from just an entertainment standpoint, I like to keep you guys up to date what's going on. Last night, the Lions had the first round of the draft. They took an offensive lineman from Duke. And the best part of it is they had a trade with Denver. And the trade actually got them 2 starting players in the first round, in 1 round. It's a great move. Lions did a good job last night. Regarding Jim Harbaugh as the coach at Michigan. The rest of you sons of bitches better look out. Now that's right out of Schembechler right there, man. I'll show those sons of bitches. Jim Harbaugh is a winner wherever he's been. To be honest with you, I thought he was going to stay in the National Football League. I did not think that he was going to come to Michigan, but he did. It will take him a while. The thing I like about Jim is he has not gone out and made these grand proclamations that we're going to beat Ohio State, we're going to beat Michigan State. He's just gone out and been Jim Harbaugh. I mean, after the first 3 months on the job, he saved somebody from death on M14. He's been to the hospital. He's been a first base coach for the Oakland A's. Heck, all he needs is a cape and a red S. And some guy with kryptonite coming along and he'll fall over dead. But I mean, he has been an absolute, in my opinion, perfect guy because all the publicity and all the PR has been positive. And he hasn't won a game yet, and I'll bet you he's got more mentions in the newspapers than Urban Meyer and Mark D'Antonio himself, which has got to burn them up. But ultimately, he has to win football games. And that's when it comes down to winning football games. Now, Jake Rudock comes from the University of Iowa, and we took a nice shot from Jim over here on that opening salvo that my take on that's a little different, as you would imagine. I figured Jake says, okay, I've played in the minors long enough. Now it's time to move to the major leagues. I told you I had the microphone last. But anyway, I think he is a prime candidate to be a starter. The guys on Michigan's team at quarterback, there isn't a player on the roster that's thrown a Big Ten touchdown pass. And Jake Rudock threw 18 last year with 6 interceptions. He has more experience, and Jim Harbaugh is a guy that says, look, we can't have our quarterback turn it over. That's the last thing we could afford because offensively they probably won't be terribly strong, but defensively they will be. So they're going to have to not give the other guy easy chances. So that's where I think, and that's where I'm coming from on Michigan. I gave you the Lions thing on the draft. I think they're doing well. And Ndamukong Suh, losing him is – he's the best defensive tackle, down interior defensive lineman in the league. I've not seen many better than him in my career as a broadcaster, and that spans 29 years. But you need a full team, and you cannot mortgage your future with too much money in one player's hands. If they'd have paid him the money he wanted and he got from Miami, Calvin, Matthew, and Ndamukong would have basically handled 60-65% of their salary cap, and you've got to fit 50 guys underneath the rest of that 40%. And what that does is that drops your talent pool down. You can't do that. You've got to be talented all the way around the roster because this is a tough, very physical, very difficult game. And at the end of the year, when the team that goes to the Super Bowl, I'm sad to say it's getting to the point now where the team that wins the Super Bowl isn't necessarily the best team, it's the healthiest team. And I hope that isn't the way it goes because you want quality out there on the field. You don't want just health. Quality against quality, not quality against hurt.